Hey guys, it is Sonia. It's a rainy day out there. Actually, it's rain and snow out there right now. I was gonna take a walk. I'm working on getting my 10K steps in today, and it literally feels like we went backwards and it's winter again outside. So I'm gonna see if this passes. And then if so, after I do my thrift flip here, then I'm gonna head outside for a walk. So the daffodils are blooming this week, and now they're gonna be covered in snow. Kind of inspired me to think about like daffodilish yellow tulips. A lot of times I paint flowers and I say they're impressionistic, meaning that as long as you can tell they're a flower, they're a yellow flower. Do you see daffodil? Do you see tulip? Whatever you see, awesome. But I hope at the end of the day, you see flowers. So I'm going to repurpose this gorgeous frame that I got out thrifting. If you watched that video, I picked this up. I think it was only like for $3 or $4, not a lot at all. I fell in love with the frame, and I'm going to use the print inside as a base for my artwork. So the first thing I love to do is go ahead and trace out kind of what I envision for this piece, and it's just pretty much loosey-goosey. With the shape of this, I'm thinking about going, and I'm probably gonna use my palette knife, that's my current intention, but I probably wanna bring like all kinds of flowers up from the bottom. This oval shape is so beautiful. So I'll probably like picture lots of flowers coming from the bottom, and then we'll do some flowers. I'm not gonna fill it all the way to the top. I need to leave space. And remember that flowers that are closer to you would be bigger. So like, maybe I put one right there. Actually, maybe I'd want that one to be bigger. And then over here, I'll put another bigger one right there. So you guys can kind of get the idea of where I would put them. And then on these over here, they don't have to be as big. It's up to you how big you want to do them. But I definitely would need something right in here. I like that. And maybe some like green coming up past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I end up somewhere around here, this would give me 5 flowers. It's always good to paint in odd amounts as well. So, all right, very happy with that. Let me go out, let me get my colors ready, and then we'll begin filling in some color. So I've got these 2 here picked. This one's a little bit bigger, a little smaller. This obviously has an edge, so sometimes it's harder to get into it. Like you gotta hold it. This basically creates like a fence around your piece, so you gotta be, you know, you gotta just move a little differently. But I like doing maybe some grass in this one, or I might do it in this one. I don't know, we'll see, we'll get started. This one might help me fill in a little quicker and a little looser. This one's thin, but I see grass with this one, and then flower movement with this one. So this is not quite dry yet, and that's okay. I like to blend my colors. So I'm just gonna go start with a darker green first with this thin palette knife, and very loosey-goosey, I am going to begin to lay down green over where I put those stems. I had to pour out some more green, and I think that green is a different one than this. That's okay. I'm gonna make use of both of them. It's nice to have various greens because, you know, in nature, that nature is lots of colors. It's beautiful. Just making some marks here now. Make it a little heavier on the bottom. Whoop. See, my palette knife just got stuck down there. The beautiful thing about the palette knife is that it really, you know, it's not perfect. Ooh, I like that a lot. Okay. Now we'll go with the lighter green that we have, just to add in a few more colors. So what's the weather like where you guys are today? Are you full on summer, or are you still battling with winter weather? I am so ready I mean, if I take a walk in a little bit, I'm going to have to get out my winter's coat. It makes me sad. And my hat. Can't put the hat away just yet. Guys, isn't this so pretty? Again, I'm just going to leave some for sky. By the way, the other thing I didn't do was, you know, fill in my background or cover it over. That's okay. You can make use of that. That can be like a little extra, you know, pops of color coming through your background that you didn't intend for. Okay, so I'm really liking that. Not too much, just right. So really happy with that. I was even thinking I could put some like gold stems or something in there. Possibility. I might do that at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and color in our tulips. I'm trying to decide which one do I want. I might stick with this guy here because he is kind of big. All right, let's go ahead and go with like a yellow ochre for the base. Kind of like how the brown background will only help us make the flower look really interesting. So I'm okay with a little bit of that black coming through. That's kind of my intention when I put it down. And you can make as many strokes as you want. Cute. All right. Pretty happy with that. So while we have a little bit of that yellow out, we could also just kind of like put a few touches of it other places. Your eye loves to see repeating patterns. So just adding a few little blips here and there. Just make sure painting feel cohesive. Okay, that's about it. Okay, so we're gonna go for a bit of a brighter yellow. I like to go dark to light. And if you want, you can just do kind of like marks like this, meaning that instead of like filling them all in, you can make them look like petals. If you want your flowers to look a certain way. I think I just heard Matt talking to the cat. Stanley cat loves it. You sit on the bed on a day like this, he gets to like curl up next to you, so he is all about that. We spend a lot of time at work, so he loves it when we come home. So a day like today, when we're around the house, he is all about it. All right, let me just fix that a little bit. Like that. Now we're gonna add in a few little yellow parts. So now what we can do is pull in a little white as well. So remember that when white mixes with the wet green, well, you're gonna see what happens. You start to get some lighter greens, so that's fun. You can mix it in as you go. So I like to do that. And then you can trace a few of your stems over with some white. That will mix into the green. Or if you feel like your green is too dry at this point, just mix a little more, what I'm doing right now, into my green. Just so that like the stems catch a little bit of the light. Okay, like that. So again, green into white is your friend. Some over here. Maybe a few little pieces at the bottom. I feel like the stem would be darker, so I'm not going to, can you see that down there? So I'm not gonna go too far down right here, but I feel like that's about good right there. Not going for perfection, rather going for the overall look. And it's when you work it too much that things just start to feel really tight. And we don't want that. Now we can add a little bit of the white as well into our flowers, tulips, daffodils. What do they look like to you? Whatever you want them to be. So we can add a little bit of that into it, add some more different brush strokes, and it makes a different color, but also it just adds some extra texture. I don't want to put too much white, so I'm gonna try to be careful here. And make your palette knife strokes all different ways. I feel like that one needs something right there, or else he needs to hang over a little bit here. Okay. And then if your color mixes and you get a yellow, again, you can add some more white to brighten it up. Add some highlights to make it different. Put some swooshes in with your brush or your palette knife on the end. Boy, that's pretty. Really like that. Just putting some random dabs now. It's a bush full of flowers, and I'm here for it. I feel like I got this really big center line down here, so I'm going to try to break it up. There we go. That way I don't feel like it looks so just sticking out there in the middle. I'm just taking a little bit of black and making some more lines. So the line is just not up the center. It just feels like it's going some other places. And I just love like the black backgrounds, because to me it just makes it feel very antique-y and old and dramatic. So I tend to do black underlayers for my paintings, but that is why I do feel like I could add some gold in here. That would be fun. And the gold is gonna look like another yellow, which will warm this up. This is a lot of beautiful creams, and it actually has a gold like leaf on the top of it all around here, brushed over it. So therefore I think it'll be cool. I'm gonna put some gold on the stems, because who says you can't have gold stems? So the next time I'm out thrifting and somebody goes, because they could very well go, because this has happened again, they will say, seriously, gold everything? Listen, she will even paint her flower stems in gold. She's committed, okay? She's committed. So just putting a few little stems in here, a few little marks. Makes it warm. I think making marks like this can really just add extra layers. And it's when a painting has all those layers that it starts to really take on this really artful, like, wow, so cool. So yeah, the feeling is you want to fill the whole thing in, but I'm not. I'm going to leave some space up here. I love that where it's at. Now, I was just rubbing my finger back here because this picture has, like, it's a cardboard backing, and I can see it's torn over here. So normally I would leave this just as is, and this could be part of the background, and I still want it to be part of the background, but I'm trying to figure out how to fix this blemish. So what I could do is bring up a little bit more of the green and let it lead over there if I want to do that. But again, I don't want to bring it up too high, so I'm debating if whether or not I just want to stick my finger in some gold and just fill in that area so that way it looks, it's looking a little more golden and painted. We'll see, we'll start there and we'll see if we like it. This is just a gold shimmer paint. I like that. But I'm not liking that. All right, let me figure out what color I want to put there. Maybe a darker green so it just kind of hides it. I do have a little bit of green left on here, so we're just going to take this and we're just going to go like, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, done. All right, we don't mess with it. You put that green somewhere else. Okay, so I just found this little guy here. I dipped him in some water. And now I'm going to dip him into a little bit of black paint that I still have left on my palette. When you do sun, you are not black. I'm so sorry, I meant to do white. It's so dark that my black would never show up. I'm going to just go ahead and wipe that off real quick. But yeah, you should use a color that you already have on your palette. Now you might see a lot of reflecting on this, so in a second I'll give you a different view here because it's a dark day and I have my lights on. But I'm gonna go into some white. And I think, you see down here, I think like maybe right down here is where my gut says I should add my signature. And we're gonna kind of put it off to the side. Let's see how it works out. Are you the brush that I need for this job? Ideally, I would use a smaller brush, but you know what? It's perfect. I love it. Okay, I'm standing back doing the full look here, and I think I'm going to make this a little bit taller because I feel like it needs just something to shoot out right there. And I'm still not loving how thick this is right here. So what that means is we're gonna play just a little bit more. Let's see, do I wanna go like maybe like right here? I was gonna say, why does this feel different? It's the bigger one. Just trying to fill this in a little more there. This is so nice. All right, gonna make this a little higher. It's feeling a little even right there. All right, there we go. We got to put a little dab there. A few little dabs. That goes this way. Maybe right here. Okay. Now we are truly gonna leave it. Now we're gonna let it go. Oh my gosh, guys, I love it. I just needed to put that like little topper up there. I felt like it was ending. I love how this turned out. So loose, impressionistic, abstract, shabby flowers, sure to add a pop of color to someone's wall. And then you have this beautiful frame just to display it in. So hopefully it inspires you too.